Improve your English through stories. A baby girl was born at a house in Sandringham, Norfolk. Her parents, Frances and Johnny Spencer, were unsure what to name her at first. They already had 2 daughters and hoped for a boy this time. But they named her Diana. Little did they know that Diana Spencer would become famous worldwide. The Spencers are a very old English family who became wealthy from farming sheep long ago. They have ties to King Charles II and King James II of England and have been close to the royal family for generations. Diana grew up near the Queen's house in Sandringham, often visiting the royal family there. Her parents had a son named Charles in 1964, fulfilling their wish for a boy. However, their marriage was unhappy, and terrible fights ensued. When Diana was 6, her mother, Frances, left with another man. The children could only see her on weekends. Frances wanted her children to live with her, but their father disagreed. So, the children stayed with their father at Park House. Different women came to care for them, but they often didn't stay long due to the children's misbehavior. Charles and Diana, the youngest, were particularly unhappy. They often traveled by train to visit their mother and shared a loving bond. Diana had 2 older sisters, Sarah and Jane, but their lives were different. Johnny Spencer tried his best for the children, offering many presents at Christmas, but there was a lack of affection. Despite the difficulties, Diana cared for her father, helped in the house, and loved her pets. Diana stayed at school during terms and came home for holidays. In 1974, she joined her mother's old school, Westheath School in Kent, far from Norfolk. Her sisters Sarah and Jane were also studying there. Meanwhile, her mother and stepfather lived on a wild and beautiful farm in Scotland, where Diana enjoyed her holidays. At school, Diana made many friends and was a good student, enjoying English, painting, dancing, and swimming. While she didn't plan to attend university, she was kind and helpful, even winning an award for her charitable work, which she started by visiting old or sick people near her school. However, she got into trouble once for leaving the school at night to meet a friend. Although the head teacher was angry, her parents found it amusing. When she left Westheath School at 16, she was uncertain about her future. At home, things were changing again because her father married Rain, who was Barbara Cartland's daughter. Diana and her siblings were not thrilled about their father's marriage to Rain. They fought often with her, but their father was happy. Eventually, Diana realized that Rain cared for her father, which eased tensions. In 1978, a year after their marriage, their father became seriously ill, and Rain nursed him back to health. Around 1977, Diana went to a pricey finishing school in Switzerland. However, after just 6 weeks, she wanted to return to England. Unlike before, Diana wanted to work and be independent, which was unusual for girls from influential families. She asked her father for a flat in Kensington, London, where she invited friends to live with her, including her old school friend Carolyn Pride. This marked a happy phase for Diana. She was young, had good friends, a nice flat, and freedom to explore life. She loved children and started caring for babies and small kids of her sister's friends. Sometimes, she cooked and cleaned for them. She even studied cooking in London, though they often indulged in chocolate. Eventually, she found a job at the Young England School, where she was content and appreciated for her loving care towards the children. During this time, Diana enjoyed parties and had many friends, but she wasn't serious about anyone romantically. She felt something special was on the horizon but didn't know what. Meanwhile, Prince Charles, who was 32, was taking his time finding a wife. Although he had many girlfriends, including Diana's sister Sarah, he hadn't chosen a partner yet. As the future king, Charles had to pick someone suitable for the royal family. which meant not just beauty but also qualities fitting for a queen. She needed to be from a respectable family, and Charles had to be her first love. This brings us to February 1981. The news broke that Prince Charles was going to marry Lady Diana Spencer. Diana, often described as Shy D, was portrayed as a quiet girl with a sweet smile in newspapers. This union marked the first time in 500 years an English girl married the Prince of Wales. Privately, Charles felt that the Spencers were more royal than the royals themselves. Growing up, Diana didn't really know Charles well. He was 12 years older, already a young man when she was a child. They first met at a country house party when Diana was 16, but their interactions were limited. However, in July 1980, things changed. While staying with friends, Diana talked to Charles, remarking how sad he looked at a past funeral, expressing that he needed someone to care for him. This heartfelt conversation made Charles view Diana differently. Their relationship blossomed. Charles invited Diana to Buckingham Palace for an evening of music and supper. Diana had just 20 minutes to prepare. She was told she might become the next Queen of England, but she laughed it off. Soon after, Charles invited her to Balmoral for the Braemar Games, where they spent time together while Diana stayed with her sister Jane and her husband, who worked for the Queen. They went for walks and talked every day. Initially, their relationship was a secret, but it got exposed when they were spotted by reporters during a fishing trip. Diana tried to hide, but soon her name was all over the news. Paparazzi started following her relentlessly, intruding on her privacy by calling her in the middle of the night and waiting outside her school. It was a tough time for Diana, and the royal family didn't offer much support. When asked if they were in love, Diana's response was affirmative, but Charles seemed less certain. Regardless, their engagement brought excitement to Britain, a fairy tale prince and princess revitalizing the royal family. Despite Diana's excitement after Charles proposed in February 1981, she soon realized the loneliness even famous people could feel. Amidst the fairy tale, doubts troubled Diana. She sensed she might never be queen and worried about Charles's ongoing connection with his ex-girlfriend, Camilla Parker Bowles. She feared Charles might still love Camilla. The carefree days with friends and work were gone. The strict royal protocols and the coldness of Buckingham Palace made her anxious. She escaped to Australia for a quiet holiday with her mother but returned to prepare for her wedding. Despite her doubts and desire to halt the wedding, Diana's sisters encouraged her to proceed, reminding her that her face was already on memorabilia like tea towels. On July 29, 1981, Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer married at St. Paul's Cathedral in London. It was a grand day for England, with over 1 million people lining the streets to witness the occasion. The entire country celebrated, with families and friends gathering around TVs to share the joy. Diana, like a fledgling, started her royal life learning to navigate public appearances. Initially shy, she gradually grew comfortable with crowds. On early outings, Charles encouraged her to interact with people, which she found daunting at first. However, she became more natural and approachable, listening to people's problems and quickly gaining immense popularity worldwide. Her charm and natural demeanor made her immensely loved, often overshadowing Charles. He occasionally expressed disappointment about not being the focus during solo visits. Diana's fashion choices became a fascination for the public. Initially, her style was young and simple, but she later refined her look, becoming a fashion icon known for her elegant choices from renowned British designers. She diversified her wardrobe for various occasions, selecting comfortable yet stunning outfits while being mindful of the unpredictable wind. Diana's patronage of British designers boosted the local clothing industry. Her wardrobe ranged from bold choices like low-cut dresses to classic, sophisticated attire, always accentuating her long legs, fair hair, and captivating smile. Diana embraced motherhood amidst struggles with sickness during her pregnancy. On June 21, 1982, she gave birth to her first child, Prince William, at St. Mary's Hospital in London, causing a joyful stir among crowds outside. The couple initially had differing name preferences, but eventually, their son was named William Arthur Philip Lewis. Her first major public appearance after becoming a mother was a tour to Australia, New Zealand, and Canada in 1983. Unlike past royal practices where children stayed behind during official visits, Diana opted to bring William along, winning hearts with her affectionate public displays and genuine interactions, quickly becoming beloved in those nations. In 1984, another addition, Prince Harry, joined the family. They lived in a spacious flat at Kensington Palace, where Diana made efforts to create a warm family environment, involving herself in her children's upbringing. While Charles preferred homeschooling, Diana insisted on William attending regular school, which he started in 1985, continuing at Wetherby School in 1987. Diana expanded her role, engaging with numerous charities, starting with 5 in 1982 and expanding to 18 by the age of 24. She showed great compassion, visiting hospitals, comforting those battling terminal illnesses like AIDS, even dispelling misconceptions about the disease by openly holding the hand of an AIDS patient, proving it wasn't contagious by touch. Diana's struggles stemmed from various sources. Her marriage to Prince Charles, entered into with hopes of love and connection, faced challenges almost immediately. They had differing interests, and Charles's continuing relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, his former girlfriend, caused Diana emotional distress. Additionally, adjusting to royal life posed a significant challenge. Diana, thrust into the public eye as a young and beloved figure, faced constant scrutiny, leading to an overwhelming sense of isolation. Her attempts to balance royal duties, motherhood, and personal struggles, including her battle with bulimia and mental health issues, took a toll on her well-being. Moreover, her perceived lack of emotional support and understanding within her marriage deepened her sense of loneliness and inadequacy. Despite her popularity and charitable work, privately, Diana experienced immense emotional pain and struggled to find solace or understanding within her royal role or marriage. Diana's marriage to Prince Charles was marred by the presence of Camilla Parker Bowles, Charles's past love interest. It appeared that Charles had maintained a close relationship with Camilla even after marrying Diana. Diana, during their wedding holiday, discovered photos of Camilla in Charles's possession, and he continued to give her gifts and speak with her privately throughout their marriage. Camilla and Charles shared common interests and seemed to understand each other well, whereas Diana and Charles had differing preferences and views on various matters. Their personalities and inclinations often clashed. They had different ideas about how to spend time together and their approach to their relationship. Their private life was increasingly strained. They slept in separate bedrooms, and it became evident that despite their public appearance as a married couple, their personal relationship was deteriorating. This disconnect led to a growing sense of isolation and uncertainty for Diana. She worked diligently for the royal family and the country but felt unacknowledged and unsupported. In 1988, a tragic event, the accidental death of one of their close friends, Hugh Lindsay, during a holiday in Switzerland, marked a significant turning point for Diana. It was a moment that highlighted her inner strength and resilience in the face of adversity. This event seems to have been a catalyst for her to realize her own capacity for strength amidst challenging circumstances. Around this period, Diana also realized the necessity of seeking help for her own well-being. Encouraged by a friend, she consulted a doctor to address her eating disorder. The doctor's candidness and expertise led to a pivotal change in Diana's life. With regular visits and extensive self-education about her condition, Diana made significant progress within 6 months, adopting a new and healthier lifestyle. While Diana found solace and purpose in her charity work, especially with the sick and underprivileged, her relationship with the royal family, particularly Charles, continued to deteriorate. A conflict seemed to brew between them, affecting not just their personal lives but also their public appearances and the upbringing of their children. Their contrasting approaches to parenting and public engagements became apparent, with Diana gravitating towards more modern activities and attire for the children, while Charles preferred a more traditional and conservative approach. Her father passed away on March 29, 1992. The death of her father had a profound effect on Diana, as they shared a close and affectionate relationship. After the loss of her father, Earl Spencer, Princess Diana continued to navigate the complexities of her role within the royal family. As she matured, she faced the challenge of finding her own identity and purpose while being a prominent figure in the public eye. Her marriage to Prince Charles brought both joy and difficulties. Despite having 2 sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, the marriage faced strains due to differences in personalities and interests. Charles's ongoing relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles added tension to their marriage. Diana struggled with her mental health and developed an eating disorder, seeking help and undergoing a transformative journey toward recovery. She found solace in charity work, becoming a compassionate and beloved figure for her efforts to support various causes, particularly those related to children, the sick, and the homeless. The marriage between Charles and Diana deteriorated, leading to their separation in 1992. The public revelation of their marital issues, along with Diana's own challenges, became a media spectacle. Diana continued her charity work and, after the separation, began to redefine her life. The tragic death of Diana's close friend, Hugh Lindsay, in a skiing accident marked a turning point. She began to focus more on her well-being and took steps toward personal growth. Diana's journey involved overcoming personal struggles, including her battles with self-esteem and her quest for a loving and fulfilling relationship. Her divorce from Prince Charles in 1996 marked the end of their formal union, and Diana entered a period of newfound independence. Despite the challenges, she remained committed to her charity work and, during her later years, became increasingly involved in campaigns against landmines, demonstrating her commitment to humanitarian causes. In the summer of 1997, Diana embarked on a new romantic relationship with Dodi Fayed. Their publicized relationship attracted intense media attention, culminating in the tragic car crash in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel in Paris on August 31, 1997. The accident resulted in the deaths of Dodi Fayed and the driver, Henri Paul, while Diana sustained severe injuries and later passed away in the hospital. The tragic part of Princess Diana's life is marked by a series of challenging events. After the loss of her father, the dynamics of her family shifted. Diana's father, John Spencer, 8th Earl Spencer, passed away in March 1992. This was a significant emotional blow for Diana, as she was very close to her father. His death, combined with the challenges in her marriage to Prince Charles, added to the emotional strain she was already experiencing. Diana faced public scrutiny and media intrusion throughout her life, especially during her troubled marriage. The revelations about Prince Charles's relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, Diana's struggle with an eating disorder, and the emotional distance in her marriage became public knowledge. The tragic narrative of Diana's life is a mix of personal struggles, public scrutiny, and a life cut short. Princess Diana's death profoundly affected the world, leading to an unprecedented outpouring of grief. Her funeral, held at Westminster Abbey, was a global event attended by dignitaries and mourners from all walks of life. Diana's legacy endures as a symbol of compassion, humanitarian efforts, and the challenges faced by individuals in the public eye.